Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're doing all the right things, eating clean, taking your supplements, avoiding junk, yet your energy is low, your digestion is off, or your blood pressure won't budge? What if the answer isn't some expensive superfood or trendy health hack, but something sitting quietly on your kitchen counter right now? I'm talking about the raw onion, yes, that humble, tear-inducing bulb we often ignore. But what if I told you it's one of the most powerful healing foods most people overlook? A few slices of raw onion a day could quietly support your heart, lower your blood pressure, reduce cholesterol, improve digestion, fight inflammation, and even slow aging, without needing a prescription. This isn't hype, it's what modern science is finally catching up to. Packed with sulfur compounds, quercetin, and prebiotic fiber, raw onion is like a silent bodyguard for your organs. And the best part? It's effortless. Add it to a salad, soak it in vinegar, stir it into yogurt with mint, done. If you've ever wished for a simple, proven way to boost your health without pills, powders, or gimmicks, then watch this video to the end. What you're about to learn might change how you see your food, and your future. And if this speaks to you, please like the video, share it with someone you care about, and hit subscribe for more practical, powerful health stories like this. You deserve wisdom that works, not just trends. Onion as medicine, ancient and modern healing. More than just food, onions have long been respected as powerful medicine across cultures and centuries. During World War II, a young French field medic, desperate and out of antibiotics, used crushed raw onion to treat soldiers' wounds, and many healed cleanly. This wasn't a one-time miracle. In ancient Egypt, onions were buried with pharaohs as symbols of eternal life. In traditional Chinese medicine, they were used to clear lung congestion. And in India's ancient Ayurvedic system, onions were classified as Vajakarana foods, meaning they enhanced vitality, digestion, energy, and sexual health. In Ayurveda, food is seen as a messenger, speaking to the organs, tissues, even emotional states. With its heat, pungency, and grounding nature, onion was said to balance Vata, the energy of air, anxiety, and motion. Modern science now echoes these ancient beliefs. The same sulfur compounds that give onion its strong smell are being studied for their antibacterial and heart protective properties. Onion juice has been used to treat coughs, earaches, and breathing issues, and today we understand why. It suppresses harmful bacteria like Helicobacter pylori, linked to ulcers and gastric cancer. Quercetin in onion improves blood flow, reduces blood pressure, and lowers bad cholesterol. It also helps fight breast and colon cancer, supports digestion through gut-friendly prebiotics, and even protects bones from age-related decline. Unlike pharmaceutical antibiotics, onion supports the body's natural balance without side effects. And you don't need fancy preparations, just slice, chew, and enjoy. In a world where ancient remedies are often dismissed, the raw onion reminds us that true healing doesn't always come with a barcode. It can grow beneath your feet, and change your life from your kitchen. From kitchen counter to cardiologist's desk, the heart-healing power of quercetin. If you're concerned about heart disease, rising blood pressure, cholesterol, or simply aging, then you should know what's hiding inside a raw onion, quercetin. This bitter compound, especially rich in red onions, is more than just a pigment. It's a powerful flavonoid proven to reduce inflammation, relax blood vessels, and lower systolic blood pressure in hypertensive patients. It also helps prevent LDL cholesterol from oxidizing and may reduce blood clots, lowering the risk of heart attacks and strokes. After decades in cardiology and nutrition, I've seen firsthand how food changes outcomes. One patient, George, a 62-year-old with high blood pressure and early diabetes, started eating half a red onion daily with his salad. Within 3 months, his blood pressure dropped by 15 points and his cholesterol improved, without adding another drug. It wasn't just the onion, but it was pivotal. Quercetin speaks the language of the arteries. It tells them to relax and allow healthy blood flow. In a world where heart disease is the leading killer, it's shocking how we overlook a natural remedy that's affordable, accessible, and proven to help. We praise exotic superfoods, yet ignore the simple red onion sitting in our salad bowl, quietly urging us to pay attention. The silent warrior against cancer, how onion compounds disrupt tumor growth. Cancer still terrifies, and for good reason. But while the search for cures continues, onions have emerged as quiet but promising defenders. Raw red and yellow onions are rich in antioxidants like quercetin, sulfur compounds, and anthocyanins that target cancer's survival strategies. In lab studies, onion extracts slow the growth of colon and breast cancer cells and trigger apoptosis, helping the body clear abnormal cells without harming the healthy ones. No, onions aren't a cure or substitute for treatment. But they are powerful allies in prevention, reducing inflammation, neutralizing free radicals, and supporting immune function. I once worked with Lillian, a 55-year-old breast cancer survivor, tired and fearful after chemo. She didn't want extremes, just a way to feel safe again. We started with food, roots, colors, especially raw onions. She added them to salads, vinaigrettes, and even toast. Over time, her energy improved, her labs stabilized, and her anxiety eased. Because every time she sliced an onion, it felt like she was reclaiming control. Cancer thrives in inflammation, onion counters it with calm and clarity. Science still has more to uncover, but what we already know is clear: onions have real, measurable anti-cancer power, and they're already in your kitchen. Feeding your gut, healing your life. We often think of digestion as mechanical, but it's actually a complex ecosystem where gut bacteria play a vital role in overall health. Raw onion, often dismissed for its smell, turns out to be a powerful prebiotic that feeds beneficial gut microbes like bifidobacteria and lactobacillus. These microbes aren't just for digestion, they influence immunity, hormone balance, and even mental health by communicating with the brain through the vagus nerve. When your gut is nourished, you may feel calmer, more focused, and emotionally resilient. A patient of mine, Rachel from Amsterdam, struggled with chronic bloating, fatigue, and brain fog. After trying every restrictive diet without success, we discovered her gut flora was depleted. I recommended adding a small amount of raw onion daily. Within weeks, her digestion improved, and within months, her mood and sleep returned. She called it the onion miracle. It wasn't just the onion, but its unique fibers helped rebuild her inner ecosystem. Ironically, many people with gut issues avoid onions, fearing gas or discomfort, but often, it's not the onion, it's the imbalance within. Raw onions provide the right kind of nourishment to rebuild from the inside out. So if your digestion is off or your focus is fading, don't just reach for supplements. Try a raw onion, your gut may recognize it as a long-lost friend. The bone whisperer, how onion quietly fights osteoporosis. When we think about strong bones, most people mention calcium or vitamin D, but few realize that raw onion can also play a vital role in preventing bone loss. This common kitchen ingredient contains flavonoids and sulfur compounds that reduce inflammation and help preserve bone density as we age. Studies have shown that women who eat raw onion regularly have stronger bones and a lower risk of fractures, especially after menopause. The reason lies in how onions' antioxidants protect the cells responsible for bone formation while limiting the ones that break bone down. Chronic low-grade inflammation often weakens bones silently, and onion helps stop that erosion at the root. I once worked with a retired piano teacher in her late 60s, graceful, active, but shocked when a scan showed early-stage osteoporosis. She didn't want to rely solely on pills, so we made gentle shifts in her meals. A few thin slices of raw red onion added to her lunch salad every day seemed small at first, but 6 months later, her bone markers had improved and her posture felt stronger. What surprised her most was how such a humble change made her feel more in control of her health. That's the power of food, it doesn't just treat, it teaches your body how to protect itself. Raw onions may not get advertised for bone health, but science is clear: their compounds reduce bone loss, increase bone-building activity, and support long-term skeletal strength. So if you want to age with grace, strength, and stability, start small. Start with onions. Nature's antibiotic: how raw onion protects you from daily infections. Before modern antibiotics ever existed, nature had already designed its own powerful defenders, one of them hidden inside a sharp-smelling bulb we now call the onion. Raw onion contains potent sulfur compounds and flavonoids that have shown antibacterial properties strong enough to fight off some of the most common and stubborn infections, including bacteria like H. pylori, the main culprit behind stomach ulcers and even some stomach cancers. These natural antimicrobials don't just stop bacteria from growing, they can actually help destroy harmful pathogens while preserving your body's healthy microbial balance, something synthetic antibiotics often struggle to do. During cold and flu season, many traditional households in Europe and Asia alike used raw onion as a remedy, not because of superstition, but because it worked. The same compounds that make you cry when slicing onions are also responsible for inhibiting the spread of bacteria and supporting the immune system's first lines of defense. I once treated a teenage boy from rural Wales who suffered from frequent sinus infections and had developed mild antibiotic resistance due to overuse. His mother had read about natural immune support and began adding chopped raw onion and garlic to his lunch sandwiches. Within a few months, his infections became less frequent, and his energy returned. It wasn't magic, it was science meeting common sense. Onions also stimulate enzymes that help the body eliminate toxins and prevent the buildup of pathogens in the gut and blood. When consumed raw, their antimicrobial effect is strongest. Boiling or overcooking can reduce the activity of key sulfur compounds. Including raw onion daily, even in small amounts, can help your body quietly fight off invading microbes long before symptoms appear. Whether you're exposed to crowded spaces, recovering from illness, or just want to strengthen your inner shield, raw onion can be your first layer of protection, natural, accessible, and surprisingly effective. How to eat raw onion without regret: taste, technique, and tradition. For something so powerful, raw onion is surprisingly easy to include in your daily meals, if you know how to prepare it right. The secret is to reduce its harshness without destroying its medicinal compounds, and luckily, traditional cultures have been doing this for centuries. One of the simplest methods is to thinly slice red or white onion and soak it in cold water for 10 to 15 minutes. This draws out some of the sharp sulfur, making it gentler on the palate without stripping away the key antioxidants like quercetin. Then there's the classic raw onion salad, popular in many Mediterranean kitchens, where finely chopped onion is tossed with cucumber, tomato, lemon juice, and a pinch of sea salt. It's refreshing, digestible, and loaded with nutrients. In Indian households, onion is often paired with yogurt to make raita, a soothing condiment that blends finely diced raw onion with cool curd, mint, cumin, and coriander. This not only balances the pungency but also supports digestion, thanks to the probiotic boost from the yogurt. Another timeless option is pickled onion. Simply marinate raw onion rings in vinegar with salt, pepper, and maybe a clove or two of garlic. After a few hours, you get a tangy, gut-friendly topping for sandwiches, grilled vegetables, or hearty soups. Pickling preserves much of the onion's raw properties while making it milder and more versatile. And if you're short on time, just chop fresh onion finely and mix it with herbs and olive oil as a topping for whole grains or roasted veggies. The key to keeping its benefits lies in eating it fresh. Don't pre-cut and store it too long. Onions begin to oxidize quickly, and their medicinal power fades within hours. Ideally, slice only what you need, and consume within 10 to 15 minutes. For those worried about bad breath, follow up with a few fennel seeds, a slice of fresh apple, or even a sprig of parsley. These neutralize odors naturally and support digestion too. The truth is, adding raw onion isn't about forcing it, it's about integrating it with taste, tradition, and purpose. And once it becomes habit, you'll barely notice the sharpness, only the strength it gives you. Little tricks, big gains: how to maximize the benefits of raw onion. Eating raw onion is powerful, but eating it the right way makes all the difference between simply consuming food and actually unlocking its healing potential. One of the most overlooked mistakes is letting chopped onion sit for too long. Once it's sliced, exposure to air triggers oxidation, which slowly breaks down the beneficial sulfur compounds and antioxidants. To get the most out of it, slice only what you plan to eat immediately, and consume it within 15 minutes. If you need to prepare ahead, store it in an airtight glass container and refrigerate, but know that its potency will still fade with time. Another common concern is the strong aftertaste and smell, which leads many to avoid it altogether. But here's a tip that works: soak the slices in cold lemon water or add a dash of apple cider vinegar before serving. This reduces the harshness while preserving the healing properties. Don't overdo it with cooking. High heat can destroy quercetin and deactivate some of the most valuable enzymes. If you want to cook with onion, try using one half raw and the other sautéed, giving you flavor and function in one meal. Timing matters too. Eating raw onion with meals rather than on an empty stomach is generally easier on digestion, especially for those prone to acid reflux or bloating. And always chew slowly. This helps release the active compounds fully and allows your body to absorb them better. For best results, pair onion with foods rich in healthy fats like olive oil or avocado. These help transport fat-soluble antioxidants into your bloodstream more effectively. Finally, listen to your body. While most people tolerate raw onion well, those with sensitive stomachs or chronic gastritis may need to start with smaller amounts. When in doubt, observe how your body responds over a few days. Healing foods are most powerful when used mindfully. So don't just add onion. Respect it, time it, and let your body learn how to work with it, not against it. When not to eat raw onion, what most people overlook. As powerful as raw onion is, it's not for everyone in every situation. If you suffer from chronic acid reflux, gastritis, or irritable bowel syndrome, raw onion can trigger bloating, discomfort, or burning sensations, especially when eaten on an empty stomach. In these cases, lightly pickled or gently cooked onion may be a safer alternative. Another important consideration is surgery. Onion naturally thins the blood due to its sulfur compounds, which can increase bleeding risk if consumed in excess before a medical procedure. It's best to reduce raw onion intake at least a week prior to any planned operation. People taking blood thinners should also consult their doctor before consuming large amounts regularly. For some, the strong smell of onion on the breath is a social concern, especially before meetings or close interactions. In these cases, chewing on fresh herbs like parsley or cardamom can help, but planning your meal timing makes a big difference too. And while raw onion is safe in moderation during pregnancy and breastfeeding, excessive amounts might affect digestion or milk flavor in sensitive individuals. The key lesson here is this: just because something is natural doesn't mean it's harmless in all situations. Raw onion is a potent, healing food, but like any tool, it works best when used wisely, with respect for your body's individual needs. The small choice that shapes a healthier future. We often think that building good health takes big, dramatic changes, eliminating entire food groups, buying expensive powders, starting a complicated routine. But after years of working with patients, I can tell you, real health is built in the small, quiet decisions we make every single day. And raw onion is one of those choices that looks tiny, but carries lifelong impact. You don't need a miracle. You need a habit. A spoon of onion raita, a few slices soaked in vinegar, or a handful mixed into your salad, none of it feels dramatic. Yet do it consistently, and you give your body the tools to lower inflammation, support immunity, aid digestion, protect your heart, and age with more strength and clarity. You begin to feel different, not because of some magic pill, but because you chose to care for yourself in a simple, grounded way. So here's my invitation: start small, but start now. Let a few bites of raw onion be your quiet revolution. Respect it, enjoy it, and let your body thank you over time. And if this video gave you something to think about, don't forget to like it, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more stories that bring healing back to your kitchen table. Because health doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be consistent.